Hey guys, so now that I have purchased a few books to put on my shelves, it is also that time to go through my shelves and see what needs to find a new home. Hey guys, if you are new to my channel, welcome to The Book Path. I'm Nicole. If this isn't your first rodeo, thanks for sticking around. Just like I said, I ended up getting books. We need to put them on the shelves. Space is getting a little cramped now. So I did need to take a look and see what it was maybe time to find some new homes for. Some of these books are books that I have read, and it's just for various purposes that we'll get into. I'm not going to be keeping them. The other part are books that I haven't read, and yeah, we'll just get into it. So first up, we have Nancy Drew The Curse by Nicole Ostow. This is kind of the prequel to the TV show that came out on CW. I knew of Nancy Drew growing up. I don't think I ever really read any of her books. I saw a few of the movies. I had a friend that loved Nancy Drew, so I figured I wanted to pick it up because it's a YA mystery and I tend to enjoy those. This one was really short, pretty easy to figure out, but did give you a little bit of a spooky sense. I think I rated it maybe like around 3 stars. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to reread it. And even though it was good, space is needed, and I'd rather give this to somebody who's going to read it and enjoy it, rather than just letting it collect dust. So that's going to be finding a new home. Next, I am going to be getting rid of A Kind of Spark by Elle McNichol. I loved the cover of this, and I loved the story. It's about a young girl in England with autism who is really bullied, and it's kind of, she's starting to learn about the witch trials that happened near her home a few hundred years before, and she's seeing the similarities between herself having autism, her older sister who also has autism, and the witches that were persecuted against. And you just kind of take it as her coming to terms with who she is and finding her own voice. And it was a really, really great story. And I did like it. But the reason I'm getting rid of it is because I just don't think it's something that I will pick up again and read. And I don't think it's something that my 2 boys will want to read. But it is a good story. I do recommend it, and I'm hoping that this will find, a nice home where somebody can really, really love and enjoy it, because it was cute. Next is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I heard good things about this. I ended up DNFing it when I was I think it was about this way done. I was just feeling kind of thrown all over the place because of the kind of time warp elements of this and the miscellaneous characters and kind of finding out what was going on, and it wasn't really pulling me along enough to want to find out the whodunit part. So I will be getting rid of this because didn't finish. Hopefully somebody else will love it. Then I have The Snow Spider by Jenny Nemo. This is a book in a little kind of magical snow series. It was really cute, really short. I don't think I'm ever going to read it. I don't know if I'm going to really continue with the series, even though it was, it was cute and little kiddish, but I don't think my kids will want to read it either. But it kind of has the tale of a little boy whose sister goes missing on a mountain, and his grandmother, everybody thinks she's nuts, but she tells him that he's this foretold wizard, that he'll have powers or whatever. So kind of carrying on with what she says, he does magic or doesn't do magic. It's kind of up to interpretation. That unlocks this other world, and he's on this quest to kind of find his sister and go through with it, because he's told that if he completes all these tasks successfully that he can have a wish, and of course his wish is to get his sister back. So it was a cute story, but like I said, not going to continue, and I don't think my kids will want to read it, so we'll find a new home for this one. Next up is Final Girls by Riley Sagar. This was my first Riley Sagar book, and it wasn't bad. I just I just kind of expected something different. This is the story about a girl who survives a horrific event, and she's the only survivor, so she becomes part of the final girls kind of club, as it's dubbed by the social media world. And she's just trying to be, you know, a normal person, trying to get back into society, trying to head up. But things keep coming up from her past, and now some of the other final girls are being discovered dead, and so they don't know if somebody's out to get them, and she has to survive again, or what's going on. So the premise was really interesting for me on this one, and it kind of had like that slasher feel from it from the 90s, but it ended up being something completely different, and I just wasn't driving with it. I did finish it, but I just didn't really care or enjoy it. So hopefully this can go to a new home for somebody that will love it. And then the last book that I did actually read that I'm getting rid of was The Talent of God by Wesley Snipes. Obviously, I got it because it's Wesley Snipes. It's Blade. You know, I'm going to pick up a book with Blade. Was a good book. It's definitely one that as you read it, you can picture it being a movie. But I felt like parts of it were sped up more than needed to be. Parts of it were just kind of like thrown together towards the end that I felt it could have been a little bit better. I would have rather this have maybe been like a trilogy or a duology and expanded a little bit on it, because there were some interesting concepts. You have like a girl who discovers this homeless person who basically has ingested some sort of thing that is basically turning them demonic. And you're finding out that there's a drug circulating this town that is part drug, part supernatural, that the more and more people ingest this, the more and more like susceptibility to demonic possession happens. And so this is going to open up like, I guess, a vortex or a wormhole or some type of blip into the demonic world for them to come through into ours. And then you also have like, not necessarily like angels, but there is kind of like angelic inspired, or there are kind of divine warriors in this as well. And I think there might be the appearance of like one or two angels in it. So it's kind of a good versus evil, angels versus demons, warriors of God versus demons. So it had a lot of really good premises to it. And it was really interesting as it carried on. But it just kind of missed the mark a little bit for me towards the end. So I'm going to pass this on because I don't think I've ever really seen this as much. So I'm hoping that I can kind of stash it now and give it away, and somebody else is going to pick it up because they're not going to know that Wesley Snipes wrote a book as well. But I did enjoy it. It's just, I'm not going to reread it ever again, probably. So it's going to go find a new home. So the next books, So the next books I have are books that I have not read for various reasons that we will get into now. The first up are ones that I've had for years, and that is Spinners by Donna Jo Napoli and Richard Chen, I believe is how you pronounce the name. Beautiful cover. I had it for years. I think it's like a Rapunzel retelling. Tried to read it like a few times, got like maybe 10 pages in. And it's just, it's kind of got that nostalgic Once Upon a Time feel, but it just wasn't grabbing me. I think this is YA, and I'm just kind of like, I don't think I'm ever going to read it. I just don't feel the pull to read it. When I read the blurbs, I just don't feel like reading it. So we're going to go ahead and find a new home for that. And the same thing goes for this one. This is Snow White and Rose Red by Patricia C. Reed. This is obviously a retelling of the Snow White and Rose Red fairy tale of old, and it's the same thing. I just haven't really like wanted to pick it up, even though it seems to be like a fae possible romance. It's YA, so I'm feeling like I've gotten out of the whole YA romance. I don't think I picked up a YA romance in a while, but yeah, so I'm gonna find a new home for that one. Then I have The Brilliant Death. This is a fantasy. This is also a signed copy, I believe. Yeah. But I just, don't feel the desire to really read it. I don't know why. It sits on my shelf and I pass it by every time. So it's been sitting here for a few years, and I just think maybe now is the time to find it a new home where somebody will take it off the shelf and read it. We have the Bookish Boyfriends. We have A Date with Darcy and The Boy Next Door by Tiffany Schmidt. I tried reading A Date with Darcy and I DNF'd it. I just thought it was just so dumb. The characters were annoying me, and she was just, the main character was just like boy crazy, and in like the most juvenile of ways. But I did hold on to them because I was like, well, maybe I'll need it, because I know there's some types of prompts where it's like, read a book that you DNF'd previously. But I just don't have any inclination to want to read it, because every time I go and see it and think I'm going to pick it up, I just remember the annoyance that I felt to the characters. So this is probably better for a younger audience. So I'm going to get rid of these two. And then basically for everything that's left, it's the same reason. So I'll just give you the reason, and then we'll go through the titles. But these are all YA romance, and I just don't feel any need to read any more YA romance. I've tried to go through them a few times, and it's just not happening. I have embraced my adult taboo romance self. I mean, we've even got the shirts going on for it. So yeah, I just think these need to find a home for a younger audience than myself to enjoy. So we have Royals by Rachel Hawkins. We have Listen to Your Heart by Casey West. I did read another Casey West book, and it was cute, but it was just like, it felt young for me. So knowing that that's the same author, I just... 4 Days of You and Me by Miranda Keneally. Sarah Dessen's Once and For All. I think this is a signed copy as well. Strings Attached by Judy Blundell, which I think it was kind of like a mafia romance YA. And Dark in the Deepest Red by Anna Marie McLemore. I did want to read this one because it gave me Giselle vibes, which is one of my favorite ballets. But I did try to read it a little bit, and I just wasn't enjoying my experience. So it's going to find a new home. So with all that, those are the books that I will be finding new homes with new fans, and hopefully making their day a little bit brighter. I don't feel too bad because most of these I ended up getting on discount, so like $2 to $3 a book. So I don't feel as bad as when you pay like full price, $18, $15 to $20, somewhere around there, and then you don't ever pick them up. That makes me upset. So with that being said, I now have new shelf space to put all the books that I did recently purchase. So look forward to hearing about those, and hope you guys are doing well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.